Now we're going to start our afternoon first topic. I would like to call Mr. Ramesh K, GM Technical and International Business from Carborundum Universal Limited. And the topic of and the theme of the lecture is latest trends in grinding technology. So I would like to welcome Mr. Ramesh to come on stage to give this session. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This session will cover the trends in grinding applications and in terms of how the grinding wheel as a tool is gearing up to change to meet these trends in the grinding applications. If you broadly look at, we are looking at it as three parts. One is the machine and the process that is getting involved in the grinding process. The second one is on the abrasives. What is that it's happening in the grinding wheels to cater to these needs, and thirdly on the fluid management. If you broadly look at the trends in the machining part, on the machine side, what is that happening? We are moving to increasingly higher and higher stiffness machines and high-speed machines. So increasingly earlier, most of the machines on cylindrical grinding used to have a speed of 33 meters per second. So now increasingly we see a speed moving away from 33 to 45 to 60 meters per second. And now there are a lot of machines which have the 100 meters per second machines. And even centerless grinding machines, which have been traditionally at 33 meters, have been moving away from 33 to 45 to 60 MPS. The advantages of these machines with high speeds are they give you much better productivity, improved geometry, and superior surface finish. The disadvantages are, increasing maintenance of machines. It needs much more consistent input in terms of size. So these are some of the disadvantages, but increasing trend is towards faster and higher speed machines. And in terms of the trends, there are, from a standard machine, there's a trend towards more and more of special purpose machines. There's a broad trend towards going in for combining multiple operations. For example, roughing, finishing, semi-finishing, all these now would try to combine to a single operation where you could do them together with a much higher productivity. And the disadvantage is they are highly suited for very specific part geometry. And but however, the great advantage is you have much better productivity. In terms of stock removal process, again, there is a trend towards moving towards less and less of stock removal by controlling the incoming raw materials. When an incoming raw material is controlled, then you have less material to grind. So the trend is moving towards more and more of finishing applications, and this calls for a higher demand in terms of closer dimensional tolerances and superior finish requirements. So with these broad trends in the machine and the stock removal process, what is happening in the grinding wheel which would help in moving towards this direction? As you would see, the grinding wheel is nothing but a bonded abrasive. It's got broadly three components. One is the abrasive grain. The second one is the bond which holds these grains together. And the third one, which is not so obvious but which is present in the grinding wheel, is the structure. So what we really mean by structure of the wheel is basically the voids or the porosity that is present in the grinding wheel, which helps in the grinding process. So we'll talk about these three components of the grinding wheel and what are the changes or the trends that has happened in these three components of the grinding wheel. If you broadly look at in terms of abrasive grain, the trend is moving away from the conventional abrasives towards super abrasives. But then you also have a in between, via media between a conventional abrasive and super abrasive by going for a premium abrasive. So what we call as a premium abrasive would be the typical MSB grains. Basically, these are nothing but the sintered aluminum oxide grains. We also have another version of the sintered aluminum oxide called as the sharp crystalline abrasive, which is a 80A grain. And you have a surface modified abrasive. So these are the grains which are available in the premium range. So when you go from a world of a simple conventional abrasive like a fused aluminum oxide towards super abrasives, so you have a via media between the conventional and the super abrasive, and you have the MSB and the 80A range of products. So what exactly is a sol gel abrasive or a sintered abrasive? Is basically nothing but a redefined crystal structure of these grains compared to the normal fused aluminum oxide. So as you would see in this photograph, you would see that the typical MSB abrasive or the ceramic abrasive would contain millions of crystals in it compared to the regular conventional aluminum oxide abrasive, because of which the properties of this grain, there is a substantial improvement. Because of this microcrystalline structure, there is an improved friability of the grain, which in turn helps the process of the fracture of this grain. So as you would see from this picture, in a conventional abrasive breaks down, you're going to have much bigger particles of the grain falling out during the grinding process. But when a sol gel or a microcrystalline abrasive is going to break down, it is not going to break down in big parts, but it's going to break down in much, much smaller parts. So every crystal will break down bit by bit, and therefore instead of a continuous or a full chunk of the grain falling out, you're going to have a small tiny crystals falling out of the grain. And this accomplishes the four major points. One is it's going to be cooler cutting because of this property. You can run it at much higher feed rates. You're going to get more dressing frequency because of this. You don't have to dress the full part away. You just have to dress a very minute depth of the grain. You're going to have less diamond wear because your dressing frequency will be reduced considerably. And because your dressing frequency is considerably enhanced, you're going to have much better part-to-part consistency between components. The advantage, of course, overall is going to be a reduced cost per component with higher productivity. When it comes to sharp crystalline abrasive, which is an 80A series of grain, this is nothing but again a microcrystalline abrasive, but these grains are much sharper compared to the regular MSB grains. And because of the superior sharpness of these grains, these can give you much better anti-glazing and anti-loading properties. These grains, the 80A series of grains, have poor wettability on metal and therefore would not get loaded or glazed quickly. And therefore these are far more friable and have much better cooler cutting and self-sharpening process compared to the MSB grains. So typically these 80A wheels are suited better for high contact area or low pressure applications. So when you have high contact area applications, the unit load on the grain that is required to break down the grain is much, much lower, and therefore you need a grain which is much friable and far more sharper. So typically for applications like inner ring track, higher track applications or bow grinding applications or even a gear grinding applications. So these are applications where the 80A series of grains work much better than the conventional grains. So the process again, when you use an 80A grain, the advantage would be the improved dressing frequency, lower cycle time, and typically anywhere between 2x to 3x wheel life. There is another new grain which has been developed in the recent times. It's called the monocrystalline grain, which is called as the 55A grain. So these monocrystalline grains are formed in such a way that every single grain would be a crystal by itself. As you know, any abrasive grain, the crystal boundaries are which are the cutting edges during the grinding process. So the monocrystalline grain is basically a process by which you make an abrasive grain by which the entire crystal or the entire grain has a crystal boundary, which means the full grain has the cutting edge on the outside. So because of this property, this grain is a harder grain compared to the normal white aluminum oxide or the brown aluminum oxide grains. And because of this higher hardness, these grains can perform much better, especially on harder material. If you take like a bearing steel or a gear steel application, excuse me. So especially on harder materials, these grains which are harder by themselves can have much superior performance. We also have a mixture of these monocrystalline and the microcrystalline grains, and based on these applications, we have now created 3 new variants, the 71HA, the 73HA and 75HA. So these are the 3 grains which are a combination of the microcrystalline and the monocrystalline grains, and they offer the advantage of the microcrystalline structure as well as the improved hardness of the monocrystalline grains. There is also another case where typically all these microcrystalline or the sol-gel wheels are typically used only in coarser grit or very high stock removal applications. But recently that trends have also been bucked in the sense that we've also developed new products which combine the microcrystalline effect for much finer grits. So we've developed products with finer grit sol-gel for zirconia snagging applications, for ball grinding applications, for ball lapping wheels as fine grit as 800 or 600 grits. We now have sol-gel ball lapping wheels. We've got ceramic fiber disc developed through this. Ceramic belt have been developed for specific applications like zirconia tube. Thread grinding wheels which have traditionally been white aluminum oxide. And now we have developed microcrystalline thread grinding wheels ranging from 180, 220, 320, 400 up to 500 grit. We can make thread grinding wheels with microcrystalline applications. And Sufina cup wheels which are typically made with 400 and 800 grits. These have also been done with microcrystalline grits. And super finishing stones which are as fine as 800 and 1000 grits. We now developed a sol-gel based super finishing stone which can give much superior performance compared to the conventional white aluminum oxide products. So what we now saw is basically the trends, what is happening in the abrasive grain category, which really helps in the grinding process. A quick look at what are the trends happening in the bonds. The bonds are basically the ones which really hold the abrasive grains together. So if you look at the trends in the bonding system, we typically have the vitrified and the resin bond and the rubber bond. Today, when you look at the hardness of these bonds, typically the vitrified bonds are the hardest. So when you go from rubber to resin to vitrify, the bonds get harder. But when you go from vitrified to resin to rubber, the bonds get more resilient. So when you go higher and higher in the pyramid, the applications become narrower, but the applications tend to move towards finer and finer grits where you need more finish and less stock removal. So when you go for more resilient bond systems, then you're really looking at less stock removal, but much superior part quality and surface finish. In terms of vitrified bond, new bond has been developed, V500, with the name of Crystal. So basically these are bond systems which are very fusible. At the same time, it's got a very crystalline structure. These can give much superior jump in terms of performance, mostly with respect to precision grinding, and be it valve seat grinding for the valves, be it broach grinding, shaft, centralist grinding, angular grinding, crank wheels, ball wheels. So various applications have now been evolved through this bond system, which can give much superior dressing frequency as well as longer wheel life. So as you would see, almost every single application in precision grinding has been covered, be it automotive, tooling, turbine blade for aerospace, or for the bearing applications. And the advantage of the Crystal or V500 wheels would be that it keeps the grain much cooler for a longer time. It keeps it more friable, and therefore the continuity of the cutting action is much longer. And therefore when you use these wheels, you get much better dressing frequency, no burning of components, and ultimately what really happens is everybody is looking at reduced cost per component, and that's what you really get through these products. There are the other two products, V-Cool and V223 again, which are high temperature fired bond systems. These are really being used for surface grinding applications and for high precision applications. A new glassy bond has been developed for silicon carbide. Typically silicon carbide applications are where you would go in for a more refractory bond, but here we have a new bond, VK10, which is a more fusible bond system for SAC applications for both precision as well as for the general purpose, and this is typically for controlled wear of the product. In terms of new bond systems in resins, we have the conventional phenolic resins. We've also developed new green technology products, which are basically the silicate and the synthetic bonded wheels. The silicate wheels would typically be operated for surface grinding applications, mostly for dry applications, and the synthetic bonded wheels again would typically be used for surface grinding, but more for wet grinding applications also. So be it spring grinding, connecting rod, asbestos based brake pads, brake linings. So all these applications you have these green technology products, both the silicate bonded and the synthetic bonded wheels giving much superior performance compared to the typical resin bond. And in terms of resin bond, the new bonds we have is the BSP bond, which is a more resilient bond for the phase grinding applications and for centerless grinding applications. To a large extent, we've used this BSP or the B99 bond to replace some of the rubber bonded applications. So these are some of the new developments that we've seen in the resin bonded wheels that can also work very well on precision grinding applications. And the B99 is basically a high performance bond for phase grinding, segmental and centerless applications. And typically against a normal resin bond, you would get anywhere between 2x to 3x performance on these. The other new product what we have in the conventional grinding application would be the cork induced bond system. And typically rubber wheels are much heavier in terms of the weight and the stress that creates on the component. So these cork bonded wheels are basically makes the wheel much lighter. It can almost reduce the wheel weight by about 50%, and therefore the amount of centrifugal